Welcome to AI World TV, your go-to destination for everything artificial intelligence. Discover the captivating landscape of AI, where advanced technology finds real-life application. Subscribe to AI World TV for webzine articles, reports, podcasts, videos, live events, and latest trends. Hear from top industry leaders and discover how AI is transforming industries and our daily lives.
Imagine like an indie garage band, right? They're playing on these beat-up pawn shop instruments.
Yeah.
And then they suddenly beat out Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and Drake at the Grammys, like just completely sweeping every single major category.
Right. That sounds impossible.
It does.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, imagine that exact scenario happening, but in the multi-trillion-dollar global race for artificial intelligence, because, you know, it is July 21, 2026, and that is actually the reality the tech industry is waking up to this morning.
It really is. The fallout is just, it's incredible to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, we are looking at a complete inversion of who holds the keys to the future of this technology, and frankly, where the most bleeding edge innovation is actually coming from right now.
Yeah, and today we are dissecting a brand new, highly anticipated report from the AI World Journal. It's titled Kimi K3 and the New AI Sputnik Moment.
That's a strong title.
It really is. And our mission for this deep dive is to figure out, you know, how a Chinese startup just completely hijacked the global AI leaderboard.
Yeah.
And why they are like turning around and giving their absolute breakthrough technology away for free.
Which is the craziest part.
Right. And most importantly, what the Sputnik moment actually means for you. We're going to look at how this impacts your daily life, your job, and the software budget at your company.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this because they are supposedly giving away this multi-million-dollar technology for completely free.
Yeah.
But releasing an open source model is only a geopolitical earthquake if the model is, you know, actually world class.
Right. It has to be good.
So does the AI World Journal provide actual proof that this new model can compete with Silicon Valley's best?
Yeah. So the challenger here is Moonshot AI, and their newest model is called Kimi K3. And, you know, they had been steadily building a reputation over the past year, getting closer to that top tier. But Kimi K3 didn't just close the gap. I mean, it surged to the absolute top of multiple critical, totally independent AI benchmark rankings.
Well, let me stop you there and push back a little because, I mean, we see these AI companies cherry pick their test results all the time.
Constantly. Yeah.
Like they design a test that their specific model just happens to be good at, or worse, they accidentally include the test questions in the model's actual training data.
Right. Data contamination.
Exactly. So is this a verified clean sweep, or is this just Moonshot AI's PR department spinning the numbers?
No, the skepticism is completely warranted, and the AI World Journal addresses that directly. They looked at independent third-party evaluations across a massive spectrum of tasks.
Okay, so it's not just their own tests.
Right. We aren't talking about a model that just happens to be good at, like, one highly specific logic puzzle. The report details that Kimi K3 is topping the charts in complex coding generation, marketing strategy, design ideation, heavy data analytics, and even high-level content creation. Like, it is going toe-to-toe with the absolute best proprietary closed models from heavyweights like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google.
Basically beating the massive, entrenched Hollywood giants who've been doing this for years and who, you know, have billions of dollars to throw at every single problem.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is that versatility is the real key takeaway.
Oh, so?
Well, sometimes you see a model that is incredible at, say, writing Python code, but it just hallucinates wildly if you ask it to draft a sensitive marketing email.
Right. It lacks that general common sense.
Yeah. But Kimi K3 is demonstrating state-of-the-art reasoning across incredibly diverse practical applications. If you need it to analyze a massive spreadsheet of messy sales data, it excels.
Okay.
And if you need it to simulate a product launch, it is operating at the absolute frontier of what artificial intelligence can do right now.
Which brings us to, honestly, the bombshell detail in this report. Beating the giants on the scoreboards is deeply impressive, obviously, but their release strategy makes zero business sense to me at first glance.
It is definitely a shock.
Yeah. The article states Moonshot AI expects to release the full model weights of Kimi K3 as open source. Now, before we get into the why, let's just clarify the what.
Sure.
When we say model weights, I've heard people describe that as like giving away the underlying mathematical architecture of the AI. Is that accurate?
Not quite, no. And that distinction is actually crucial to understanding the magnitude of this release.
Okay, correct me though.
So the architecture is just the structure of the brain. You can publish a paper describing the architecture, and that's like handing someone a blank blueprint.
Got it. Just the plans.
Exactly. The model weights, on the other hand, are the actual learned parameters. They are the billions or even trillions of specific mathematical connections the AI formed after reading the entire internet and running on supercomputers for months.
Oh, I see. So the weights are essentially the memories and the learned expertise.
You are handing over the fully educated brain, ready to work. It's the engine itself.
Wow.
And releasing the full model weights of a true frontier model like Kimi K3 is a massive escalation in the open source wars.
Right, because we've had open source before.
We've seen companies like Meta with Llama or Alibaba's Qwen pushing the open source envelope, but Kimi K3 crossing this specific threshold of capability, it changes the entire landscape.
But I still don't get the economics here. I mean, wait, if they have just built the most capable digital brain on the planet, why on earth would they give away the weights for free?
It seems counterintuitive.
Right. Why not lock it behind an API, charge developers $20 a month, charge enterprise clients millions, and just rake in the cash?
Because it comes down to commoditizing your competitors' premium products.
Okay.
Yeah, by giving away a model that is just as good, if not better, than the closed models from Silicon Valley, Moonshot AI completely undermines the business models of those entrenched giants.
Right, because why would I pay for OpenAI if I can get Kimi for free?
Exactly. And open-weight models allow enterprises to download the AI, fine-tune it with their own highly confidential data, and run it entirely on their own secure internal servers.
So for you listening, think about what this means for your company's software budget. If your IT department is currently paying massive usage fees every time an employee sends a prompt to a closed AI vendor,
Which a lot of them are.
yeah, this changes the math entirely.
Radically. You get lower deployment cost and total data privacy because your sensitive company data never even leaves your building.
That's huge for healthcare, finance, all of that.
It is. You aren't tied to a single vendor's pricing whims anymore. By open sourcing Kimi K3, Moonshot AI forces the entire industry to shift. The product is no longer the model itself.
So what is the product?
The product becomes the services and the infrastructure built around the model.
Got it. Giving away a state-of-the-art model to cripple your competitors is a brilliant, aggressive play. But the thing that makes this story read like a techno-thriller isn't just the release strategy.
No, it's the development.
Right. It is how they managed to build this thing in the first place, considering they were effectively starved of the resources that Silicon Valley just takes for granted.
Yeah, this is the part of the AI World Journal report that is absolutely sending shockwaves through the engineering community. We really have to look at the severe environmental constraints surrounding Kimi K3's development.
You mean the United States' export restrictions?
Yes, and the report is very objective about this. The U.S. government imposed strict policies designed specifically to limit China's access to the world's most advanced AI chips.
Which are mostly made by NVIDIA, right?
Exactly. These chips are the highly specialized, incredibly expensive processors required to train frontier AI models. And the explicit stated goal of that hardware blockade was to slow down the development of advanced AI outside the U.S.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It's like trying to win a Formula One race, but the regulators step in and mandate that your team is only allowed to use a restricted, vastly inferior engine.
Right.
The other teams have massive, state-of-the-art V6 turbos, and you're just handed a lawnmower engine.
And you certainly can't win a race like that on raw horsepower.
No, so you have to win on aerodynamics. You have to build the most perfectly frictionless, lightweight car the world has ever seen, paired with absolutely flawless driving tactics.
That is the core paradox of this entire story, and it's actually a known phenomenon in engineering.
Really?
Your compute abundance breeds lazy engineering.
Now that makes sense.
If you have unlimited supercomputers, you can afford to write sloppy, inefficient code because you can just throw more processors at the problem until it works. But compute starvation, that forces hyper-efficiency.
So the AI World Journal researchers analyzing Kimi K3, they expected to find some magical new invention, right? Some secret formula that bypassed the chip restrictions entirely.
They absolutely expected a completely new paradigm.
Yeah.
Look, The entire AI world currently runs on something called the transformer architecture.
Right.
And for a long time, the assumption was that to get a massive leap in capability without massive compute, someone would have to abandon transformers and invent something.
You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
Completely alien.
But Moonshot didn't do that.
Moonshot didn't do that. They took the existing transformer architecture and applied unimaginable levels of optimization to the software.
Break that down for us, because optimization sounds a bit vague. What does hyper-efficient software actually look like in a neural network?
Sure. So the report highlights two massive breakthroughs in their approach. First is their heavy use of improved mixture of experts, or MOE, architectures.
Mixture of experts. Wait, what does that mean? Instead of a single massive brain, it is a collection of specialized subnetwork.
Exactly. Let's use a tangible example. In a standard non-MOE model, if you ask it a simple question like, what is the capital of France? The system activates almost every single artificial neuron in its massive network just to process that request.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it takes a huge amount of electricity and computing power to fire up the whole brain for a basic task.
It is like turning on every single light, appliance, and television in your house just because you walked into the kitchen to get a glass of water.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yes.
And MOE architecture, though, acts like a highly intelligent router. It takes your prompt and only wakes up the specific experts needed for that task.
Okay, so just the kitchen light.
Right. If you ask for Python code, it only activates the coding experts. If you ask for a poem, it routes to the creative experts.
And Moonshot perfected this.
Moonshot AI took this concept, which, already existed, and optimized the routing mechanism so heavily that Kimi K3 can achieve top-tier performance while using a fraction of the active computing power during inference.
Wow. Okay, so that solves part of the efficiency problem. But the article also talks about how Kimi K3 handles massive amounts of context. And that brings us to the second technique they used: linearized attention.
Yeah, this one is a bit more mathematically dense, but it is crucial. In standard AI models, attention is the mechanism the AI uses to look back at the text it has already processed to figure out what word should come next.
Okay, so if I feed the AI a 500-page legal document, it uses attention to remember what happened on page 10 when it is currently analyzing page 400.
Exactly. The problem with standard attention, though, is that it scales exponentially, what we call quadratic scaling.
What does that mean in practice?
It means every time the AI reads a new word, it has to simultaneously compare that new word to every single previous word in the document to understand the context.
Ah, that sounds incredibly intensive.
It is. By the time you get to page 400, the computing power required to do those simultaneous comparisons just explodes. It becomes a massive bottleneck, completely choking the processors.
Which you obviously can't afford if you don't have the world's best processors to begin with.
Right.
So how does linearized attention fix that bottleneck?
Well, imagine you're reading that 500-page legal document. Standard attention is like reading a new sentence on page 400 and then physically flipping back and rereading the entire 399 pages just to make sure you understand how the new sentence fits in.
And you do that for every single new sentence.
Every single one. It is exhausting and slow.
Nobody reads like that.
Exactly. Linearized attention is more like reading the book while keeping a running summary on a small notepad.
Whoa.
As you read, you constantly update the notepad with the most important themes and facts. When you get to page 400, instead of rereading the whole book, you just glance at your highly compressed notepad. It turns an exponential math problem into a linear one.
That notepad analogy is brilliant. It compresses the context. They basically found a software shortcut to completely bypass their hardware limitations.
And this is a point the AI World Journal stresses impartially. Regardless of the geopolitical motivations behind the chip restrictions, the factual outcome in the engineering world is undeniable.
Yeah.
The hardware blockade didn't stop the development of frontier models. It just forced the engineering teams to become significantly smarter. They squeezed every single drop of performance out of the chips they did have.
Which brings us to the title of the report, and really the core thesis of this whole deep dive, the new AI Sputnik Moment.
Right. A Sputnik moment refers to a historical turning point. Back in 1957, the Soviet Union launched the Sputnik satellite, and it was a profound shock to the United States.
Because they thought they were way ahead.
Exactly. It was the sudden, undeniable realization that the competitive landscape had fundamentally and permanently changed overnight. The U.S. realized they were not the undisputed technological leaders they thought they were.
And the argument here is that Kimi K3 is the exact same wake-up call for the modern technology sector.
The illusion of absolute dominance has been shattered. Artificial intelligence is officially no longer monopolized by one country or by a handful of massive Silicon Valley corporations.
It's decentralized now.
Breakthroughs are emerging globally. The barrier to entry is still high, sure, but it is no longer insurmountable if you have the right talent.
But, I mean, is it really a full-blown Sputnik moment if the major Silicon Valley players still have access to vastly superior hardware? I mean, they still have the biggest data centers in the world. Doesn't that count for something?
Oh, it counts, but the point the journal is making is that the nature of the race has changed.
Okay.
If the old playbook for the last 3 years was simply raise $10 billion, buy 100,000 advanced chips, and brute force your way to the top, well, Kimi K3 proves that playbook is obsolete. You can't just buy your way to a monopoly anymore.
So the new playbook is an efficiency war.
It is about engineering talent, research efficiency, open collaboration, and the ability to scale proven ideas with incredibly elegant code. The companies that win the next decade won't necessarily be the ones with the most servers.
They will be the ones with the best software architecture.
Right. The teams who know how to write that hyper-optimized MOE routing or who perfect linearized attention.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, well, actually, if we connect this back to you, the listener, because geopolitical tech wars and algorithmic efficiency can sound very abstract, right?
Oh, definitely. It sounds like academic theory.
But this hits your life directly. This raises an important question. How does this fierce, newly global competition actually impact the consumer?
The pressure applied by an open source model like Kimi K3 forces the established giants OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic to run faster just to stay in place.
They can't coast anymore.
No, they can no longer rest on their laurels or slow drip their minor advancements to the public.
Because if they try to charge you a premium for an incremental update, you can just go download the open source alternative for free.
Exactly. And the result for the consumer is a cascading series of benefits. We are going to see faster model improvements across the board.
And cheaper tools, right?
Yes. We will see significantly lower inference costs, meaning the AI tools integrated into your phone, your email, and your workflow are going to get much cheaper to operate.
It is the ultimate buyer's market for AI right now. The democratization of this technology is just going into overdrive.
It really is.
Well, let's recap this incredible journey. We started with Moonshot AI's Kimi K3, right? A model that completely swept the most rigorous independent benchmarks in the world, proving that world-class frontier reasoning can indeed come from outside the traditional tech hubs.
Yeah.
We looked at the bombshell decision to release the full learned model weights as open source, which allows developers everywhere to commoditize the proprietary giants and completely disrupt the established business models.
And we also examined the remarkable engineering resilience behind it all.
Right, the restricted engines.
Exactly. How sheer brilliance in software optimization, utilizing techniques like highly efficient mixture of experts routing and linearized attention, managed to overcome massive hardware limitations. They proved that starvation can actually forge a leaner, more capable system.
So, what does this all mean for you? It means the tools you use for your own work, for coding, for design, or for data analytics, they are no longer locked inside the walled gardens of a few tech behemoths.
The power is moving out to the edges.
It is. It is moving into your hands and into the servers of the companies you work for without the massive price tag.
And I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over, if you're listening.
Go for it.
If state-of-the-art AI is no longer constrained by having access to the absolute best hardware, well, think about it. And if the fully trained brains of these genius-level reasoning engines are available to anyone with a standard internet connection, what happens next?
That's a huge question.
Right. Think about what happens when every local industry Every small bootstrap startup in a developing market, or even just individual developers in their bedrooms, begin downloading and fine-tuning these models.
Yeah.
What happens when they apply this hyper-efficient AI to highly localized, culturally specific, or hyper-niche challenges that Silicon Valley never even thought to solve or simply didn't care about?
Wow, that is a staggering thought. It is the indie film studio not just winning the Oscar, but suddenly handing out top-tier professional cameras to every single person on Earth who has a story to tell.
That's exactly it.
July 21, 2026. The day the old playbook burned and a wildly complex, open, and global new reality came into focus.
It's going to be a wild ride.
It definitely is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and we will catch you next time.
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.